Okay. Something is wrong with the Twitter. It's saying we need a premium account to go live. Okay, so okay. Let's give people time to join in. Hi, hello, welcome to today's event. Let's give a minute or two for people to join in before we get started. Okay. All right. Hi everyone. Here we have 7 people. Let's see if we can hit 10 before we get started. Um, Please, if you know anybody that is supposed to be on this live stream, please send them the link to join in so that we can get started. In under 1 minute or in another 30 seconds, we're going to get started. All right, one more person to hit 10 people and then we get started. All right, perfect. So we have 10 people on the live stream. So let's hope other people join in as we get started. My name is Daniel Moran. I am the community manager at Diredo.io and I'm going to be your host for today. Welcome to today's Xterns event where we are talking about something around shipping your own fintech and building something called BudgetWise, which is a personal finance dashboard, right? So this is going to be something around, or the kind of project we're going to be working on here is going to be something around building a budget-wise personal finance dashboard, and then you're going to start from the very beginning, which is the idea, to production, which is building the actual thing from scratch. But before we get started today, and then we start to our speaker for today starts to talk about what the project is about and how you're going to get started, we need to first talk about um, what Xterns is. If you're familiar with Direct.io, you must most likely be familiar with Xterns. But for those who are not familiar with Xterns, I'm just going to do like a run through or a rough idea of what Xterns is all about and then how you can sign up. Right. So Xterns is that platform whereby, so for example, if you've been learning a particular tech skill, so whether front end, software engineering, back end, or anything, any project you've been working on, right? You need to be able to have hands-on skills or hands-on projects that you have worked on that you can show that, okay, I've not just been learning, but I've actually been building stuff, right? So Extends is that platform that connects you to tech leads, and tech leads have projects on Extends, which are projects that you can work on and then put in your portfolio and then say, okay, when you now have jobs, right, you can now showcase this project as these are real world projects that you've worked on. Now, but here's the catch, right? You're working on projects, but not just any kind of project. You're working on projects that can vouch for your experience, right? So you must have hands-on, right? And then you must have the technical knowledge to even be able to work on these projects to start with, right? So that's what the Xterns platform is about. And then we've had people who are currently on the Xterns platform. We have people who have used the Xterns platform and been able to work on a number of projects, and they've been able to showcase and put on their portfolio to say, hey, I worked on this project, I worked on this project, I worked on this project, you can check it out. And then, I mean, this already even now shows that you already have an experience in whatever pathway you're talking about. So whether software engineering, quality assurance, DevOps, right, be what's not. So I'm just going to do like a run through of what Extents is, and let me see if I can share my screen and just log in and show you what Extents is quickly, and then we get into it. So let me try to present my screen. Please, you can just confirm when you can see my screen. Okay. So please confirm you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? You can type you can see my screen in the chat so that I know that you can see my screen. Okay, perfect. So let me try to log in. So I'm just going to log in as an extent, just to show you how the platform looks like, and then the kind of projects you can work on. Right. So give me a minute. Okay. So this is my dashboard as an extend, right? As an extend. Now, if you can see, my profile shows that I am a software developer, and now this is my dashboard. Now we have something on Xterns called employability score. Now, what does this mean? The more projects I work on, the more my employability score increases, right? So it has to get to be a certain level before I can say, hey, I am available for a job, or a job can, or you can interview me for a job. Because if it doesn't increase, then it means that I'm not currently fit for um, a job, right? So the goal is to work on projects and boost your employability score until it gets to, let's say, something around 800, right? When you have something around 800, you can now say, hey, I want you to hire me, and this is my employability score. These are the projects I've worked on and the likes, right? So this is my dashboard, right? And if you come here, I can see projects that I can work on. Now, these projects are currently across different pathways, but you can see that I can decide to pick one and begin to work. I can see the one that is beginner friendly, expert level. I can see what the kind of technologies I need to have an idea of, and then before I can actually like pick up this project. So as an next thing, you're going to have access to all of this, right? To be able to pick up a project. You're going to also have access to join a pod. Now, what is a pod, you might ask? A pod is, sorry, excuse me. A pod is a learning space for you and other people, right? So now, for example, if after this webinar today you want to join BudgetWise and work on the project, right? All you need to do is to search for the pod, right? And now, when you search for the pod, you can see that multiple people can be in a pod. I think we have a maximum of 10 people per pod, right? So if you want to work on this project after after creating an account on Xterns, taking your assessment test, you can now decide to join a pod and then work on the project if you're accepted to the project, right? And then you can always come here and see the progress you made in a particular project. You can see the sprints, and then you can pick up one sprint and then complete it till you finish up the project. And then you can also find a tech lead. You can find a tech lead is um, that is linked to what you're working on, right? So, which is whether you're in software engineering, quality assurance, or the likes. And then when you have a tech lead, you can get in contact with them and actually communicate with them or share, ask questions, and then you get answers to your questions. So pretty much that's that about Extend. We hope that you will be, after like this session today, you'll be excited to work on some of these projects, and then we would love to see you guys and have you guys on board. Right. So that's that about Extend. Now I'm just going to introduce our speaker today, Patrick. Patrick is going to be talking about, if you're just joining in, Patrick is going to be talking about how you're going to be shipping your own fintech project called BudgetWise, which is a personal finance dashboard. And it's interesting because everybody probably needs a personal finance dashboard to be able to like monitor their expenses and the like. So A round of applause as we bring Patrick up on stage to talk about budget wise. Hi, Patrick.
Hi, Daniel.
Thank you very much for being.
Thank Okay. See, a lot of people have started joining. Uh, 10, 11 so far. So, hi, everyone. Let me just share my screen. In a second. Daniel, could you put this on the stage, please? Thank you. So, hi, everyone. My name is Patrick Mwangi. I am a software engineer based in Kenya, and I would like to welcome you to our live session. The project name is BudgetWise, and over the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through everything from building this to hearing everything that and how the pieces fit together. So you'll see how where you can jump in as interns, externs, as Daniel had told you about, and why each of these matters. So think of today as a guided tour of a real world money application, minus the pressure of shipping to production. If you're ready, let's just go dive in. So, sorry, the table of contents is not that clear, but let me just walk you through about it. So, just a second. So, the first what we're going to talk about is introduction to BudgetWise. Then we're going to see the features that we'll have and the tools that we're going to use, the technology stack and architecture, the deployment and version control, learning structure. Then I'll give off a flow if any of you have any question for me. Let me just check. So, let me through. So, welcome to BudgetWise, a personal uh, finance dashboard. So, imagine a fitness wallet, but a fitness tracker, but for your wallet instead. So, BudgetWise will automatically read your bank statements. So, for those joining from Kenya, we usually use M-Pesa. So, you can load in your M-Pesa statement, it's a CSV, or an XLS document, and the BudgetWise is going to be able to read everything. And so when you go out or when you so for this, when you're out and you're not able to see where your money went, instead of wrestling with spreadsheets, users will be able to get one clean dashboard with the answers. Where is my money actually going, and what should I do next? So for us as developers, it's a perfect sandbox to learn data, ingestion, categorization logic, and user-centric insights, all without touching the real banking APIs. Because we're not going to deal with banking APIs like Chase, Absa, Equity banks, all those banks you know about. So what you're going to do is just be able to import your CSV statements, and BudgetWise is going to read everything, and you're able to know where my money went. So let's go to the key features and the user-centric tools. So BudgetWise has three handling features each extern is going to be able to know about. So the first one is bank statement parsing, the spending categorization, and the smart budgeting insights. So on what I told you about, the system is going to be able to pass CSV statements. So the system ingests CSVs or PDF statements from multiple banks, extract the transactions, and save them in a common format. So when it saves them in a common format, you're able to see it as a chart, pie chart, a bar chart. So you'll be able to create or build both of those. So this teaches you ETL. So ETL is extraction, transform, load on real financial data. So on the spending categorization, it organizes expenses into categories for clear visibility of where your money goes. So using simple machine learning tools, each transaction is auto tagged into categories like groceries, billing. You've gone out, you've done whatever you do outside, In Kenya, we say sheshe. So you've gone sheshe, entertainment. So this is where you practice pattern matching and feedback loops to improve accuracy over time. So on the Smart Budgeting Insights, it provides a personalized tips and alerts to help users stay within budget and save more. So based on spending patterns, BudgetWise sends alerts before you overspend and suggests small changes. So if you're one who spends a lot of money when you're out and you don't know anything or how your money went, BudgetWise is going to send you an alert telling you about your spending. So you're going to notch down a little. So here you learn how to translate raw numbers into actionable, human-friendly advice. So together, these features cover ingestion, processing, and user impact, the full data lifecycle. So these are the main features of the BudgetWise. Let's head on to the next. So let's go to the technology stack and architecture, where almost everyone is here. So we have the front end, back end database, and the extra. So the extras are going to be for the charts that we're going to show the user. So on the front end, we're going to use React with Tailwind CSS to deliver lightning fast responsive UI. You will code components, manage state, and build sleek dashboard. For this, I'll be able to provide a repository for everyone to clone. The people will be able to join my pod and work on the repository. So on the back end, we're going to deal with Node.js with Express, which will handle server-side logic. So everything from authentication to RESTful endpoints. This is where your JavaScript will meet the real world. So everything about authentication, storing everything. So the database that we're going to use is Postgre. Postgre gives us the ACID compliant relational store with strong JSON-B support. So this is going to be for storing flexible finance data without sacrificing integrity. So for the extras, we have Chat.js, Node.cron, and SendGrid. So SendGrid is one that will be able to send you the notification about your spending. And Node.cron schedulizes the recurring jobs, e.g., maybe statement imports, monthly imports, weekly imports, so whichever you want. The Chat.js, it transforms the raw numbers into clear visual sites. So the deployment, we're either going to use a Vercel or Netfly for deployment, and we're going to have CI/CD. So CI/CD is a continuous integration, continuous development. So we're going to have a Docker file that will be initialized upon each commit. So even though we're not deploying live today, it's just a theory. It's critical you understand the pipeline. So in a real workflow or out there, you have to use the GitHub Actions or Git buckets. So automated test runs, ESLints, check styles, and if everything passes, a preview of your application is going to be up on Vercel or Netlify or whichever deployment you're going to use. So the Docker image to production, what you're going to use is Docker images. So it's easier for use to use. So the Git-based workflows keep code organized and enable collaborations across teams. So you're going to be able to learn about how to work with a team in this project. So I'm going to assign someone to work on the front end, another one on the back end. So with the Docker image, you're able to see who committed this, and it's going to be integrated slowly. So the learning structure and prerequisites of this application. So before you start with this, you need to have basic knowledge of JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. Then familiarity with React and Node.js frameworks. The advanced tools that you will need to know about is understanding of databases, cloud deployments, and APIs. So you need to know all those before you dive into the project itself. So the summary of this BudgetWise is just a recap. So BudgetWise shows how a handful of modern tools can perform messy bank statements into clear, actionable insights in minutes. Your next step is simple. You clone the repository, pick a feature that excites you, and start hacking. So you share progress and our channel that we're going to show maybe Slack or Discord. Then you tag questions and learn by building. I'll be there to unblock you. So the benefits of using BudgetWise. So financial awareness, improved budgeting, and convenience. So if you see how your money you're using it's going to be easy for you like to be able to understand how you're using your money so that you don't overspend. So improved budgeting. So you receive actionable advice to optimize savings and reduce unnecessary expenses. The convenience of it. So you're able to automate tracking, like so it will save time and reduce manual effort since you're just importing your bank statements. So from a user's perspective, it's going to be easier for them to like see their spending, save time instead of just going through when did I use this money, when did I buy this shawarma, when did I do this. So yes. So for you working on this or even extending budget-wise yields, uh, it yields a premium resume material. So you're able to post this in your CV and say you worked on a full stack web app. So it demonstrates React on the front end, Node on the back end, SQL for data, and DevOps best practices. So a recruiter will can click your live demo or repo and see proof of you understand this stack from pixel to pipelines. So it hands-on experience with popular fintech technologies and tools like Node-Clones, global opportunity. So you're prepared for careers in fintech and related industries worldwide. So the project showcase it built a strong portfolio demonstrating practical application of skills. So I know that was a short session, and I would just like to wrap our walkthroughs. So I'll just give an open floor for anyone who has a question. So what part is sparking your curiosity? Maybe it's the passing logic, the cron jobs, or how Postgres will enable JSON being. Pop your questions in chat. I think Daniel is here and be able to tell me the questions, and I will just answer them.
Yes, I am. So let's hope, please drop your questions in the chat, and then I would bring them up to Patrick so that he can answer those questions. I didn't think that the session was going to be this quite short, but I hope this has been able to gather your excitement. So please ask your questions so that we can get them answered. Questions? You're waiting for your questions. You can type in the chat and then we'll respond to you. Okay, so I'm getting questions now. Somebody says, do you have APIs that can be used publicly for maybe other custom integrations?
Which APIs are you looking to integrate or leverage? So for the APIs that I'm going to use for this budget wise, is one of them is going to be Clark for the authentication. So Clark is going to be able to view and authenticate users instead of building uh, from scratch. Next, I'm going to have Firebase. So Firebase is going to be for basic real-time databases, or I'm going to use. So there's two options for the database. It's going to be Firebase. I mean database for the Firebase or the Neon.tech.
Okay. Did you answer the first question that said, do you have APIs that
Yeah,
can be used
on the
publicly?
yeah. So I
Uh,
think two questions are about APIs. I think that answers both of them.
yeah.
So
Somebody
is
said, what
someone
language are you
is the
specifically going to be?
platform up? Not really. I just have it on my repo, but I was going to deploy it since after we start working on it. I think there's more questions.
Somebody said, will users be able to? I'm guessing the person wanted to say, will users be able to set monthly goals and limits?
Sorry.
Somebody is asking, will users be able to set monthly goals and limits?
Yes. Users are able to set their monthly goals, daily goals, weekly goals, and limits. So if you're able to like see it using the SendGrid, you'll be able to like get a notification about your spending.
Okay. Do you have APIs that can be used publicly for other custom
And
integrations? Okay. And is it, are they publicly available? Can anyone build
not
on them?
really, not really.
Okay. What financial APIs? I love the questions that are around APIs. Somebody said, what financial APIs are you looking to integrate?
So for the financial API, I'm looking to integrate a mix of financial APIs that. So for Kenyans, we're going to have like M-Pesa, the Raja API. Then for international, we're going to have Stripe API or Flutterwave as alternative. So for the APIs that we're going to
Okay.
use for the
Can I
the
use your service?
yes, for my own custom developments of project. Yes. So there's one, can I use other financial statements other than M-Pesa, like bank statements? Yes, you can. As long as it's in a CSV bank statement format, you're able to use the the financial statements. So it's just not M-Pesa for Kenyans, but it's for everyone.
Okay. More questions from everybody. Questions. Okay, somebody said so. The
Not
only
really.
form acceptable. Yeah.
The acceptable format is CSV, XLS, and PDF. But for most bank statements, you're able to like get the statements in CSV. So that's why I was mentioning more of CSV than the other formats. So it's for both CSV, PDF, and XLS.
Okay. Are we having any other questions from any other person? Are people excited to jump on this project? So for password protected statements, how do you handle them?
So for the password protected statement, I haven't like gotten into that. But so what I think we will do is you have to download it to your device or your computer machine. Then you have to remove the password directly, so you're able to pass the CSV statement. So can the app be used offline? Yes. Since but for now it's just a web application. So not really. So when it's we've deployed a mobile app, so yeah, you'll be able to use offline. There's two questions about security. So we'll be using Clark for the authentication. So Clark is from what I know, and I've used Clark for lots of times, so it's very secure. Is the M-Pesa Connect or bank integration connection directly rather than just CSVs? I'm not connecting directly with the bank statements for integration for now. Just M-Pesa using the Raja API, but for the bank, it'll be direct CSV statements.
Okay. Any other questions from any other person?
Not really. I hope I've answered everyone.
Okay, another
How
person
to
says, how do you get to commercialize this? Is the goal really to commercialize it?
Not really at
So
the
I don't
moment.
think the goal is to commercialize it. The goal is to be able to, it's personal for you, right? So
Yeah.
the goal is not to exactly commercialize it.
He reframed the question.
Okay, this is a
Is this a
project you
project?
want. Okay.
So I think for the extent that we'll be joining this, maybe they're able to like integrate better or maybe change how the budget-wise looks. But for me, it's just able to like show or give my extern skills so that they can use out there. But if used correctly, one can commercialize it.
Actually, okay, so are we having any questions from other person? Please ask your questions. This is the time to ask your questions.
I don't know if
Please ask
Swale is
questions.
Swale
Okay.
Salim asked about how secure will be our data in terms of security and everything. I think I answered that in terms of user authentication and access control. So, like we use secure login systems with hashed passwords. So, what I'm using is Clark. So, the passwords are hashed and no storing of cards. So, we'll use uh, cookies that expire uh, in a week, depending on your machine. So, yeah.
Okay. So I don't know. In the absence of any questions, um, I don't know if we should call it a wrap now. Ideally, this call was supposed to span for 1 hour, but we've covered
Yeah.
everything in about 30 minutes
But
ish. So
I feel like so many of this everyone joined late. Maybe you can show them about Xterns.
yeah.
No.
Okay. Okay. So let me just do a walkthrough about Xterns again for people who are just joining in. Give me a moment. Patrick, I might take down your screen to bring up mine. Okay,
Let me
somebody
just
has a
remove it.
final question. Go ahead with your question
Okay.
before I go ahead and talk about extents. Please go ahead and ask your questions.
Okay. There's. Will you consider building web first before mobile, given that it's much easier? Yeah, I'm actually building a web app. I'm not building a mobile application first. So we're starting with the web application. Then the mobile app will come later.
Okay. All right. So let me try to share my screen and do a walkthrough about extents before
Okay.
now so that people who did not um, understand what extent is about would understand what it's about. Hi everyone, Daniel here. Okay, somebody says, what will happen to the user's data if after they stop using the app?
So for the user's data, when you just delete your account from the BudgetWise, everything goes with it. So your data, your financial bank statements, everything goes with it.
Okay. Okay. All right. So let me quickly try to share my screen and talk about what Xterns is about. Please let me know when you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. So, hi everyone. Welcome once again. I briefly talked about this earlier, but I'm going to talk about it again. So, welcome to Xterns by Dare.io. Now, I think for those who joined late, you've just met Patrick who talked about BudgetWise, which is a project that is currently on Xterns and we're going to be working on, right? But before you're even able to work on this project, what is Xterns and why should you bother about Xterns by Dare.io? So Xterns is that platform that allows you to be able to work on projects. So let's say you've been learning a particular tech skill for a while. So in this case, software engineering, right? You've maybe gone through like a 4 months or 6 months boot camp, right? Now, that doesn't automatically translate into work experience for you, right? It doesn't really, right? Because fine, you might have worked on projects, but companies want to see you work, like have real world experiences, right? So Extends is that platform that shows you that shows proof of your experience, right? So the idea is for you to come on board as an extern, whether you so for example, let's say you have like you've taken a course on software engineering, right? Now you can come on extend, sign up as a software engineering person, and then take the assessment, pass the assessment, and then work on real life projects. Now, to work on real life projects, let me do like a walkthrough of what the Extends platform currently looks like. This is like just the basic home page. So I'm going to try to log in. So you can come in as an extend, it takes you to the extends page, and then you join or you become an extend if you're currently not an extend. But I am already an extend, so I'm just going to log in. So you can apply to become an extend and then you go through the entire onboarding process. But I'm just going to currently log in. Right, so to log in, I just put in my login details and then log into the platform. Now, when I log into the platform as an extern, one of the things to look out for is your employability score. Now, what is your employability score? Your employability score is that it shows the number of projects you've worked on and how well you're able to do those projects. So if you're able to do those projects very well, your employability score increases. Now the goal is to move your employability score from this current score, whatever score it is, to about 800. Now for anybody who has about over 800 in their employability score, it means that they are solid enough. They've worked on projects to prove that they're actually good at what they say they are, right? So whether it's software engineering, whether it's quality assurance, whether it's backend engineering, regardless of the case. Now, you can also, so this is your dashboard. You come to extend, this is how your dashboard will look like. And then when you come to my projects, you can see projects that you can pick up or projects that you're currently working on. Now, for example, for those of you who want to work on Patrick's project, this is where you come to. So we have something called pods, which is a cycle of people working on the same project. So for the most part, we're going to be having multiple pods simultaneously, right? So for budget wise, for example, if I want to work on this project, all I need to do is to apply to join the pod. And you can see that it's an intermediate level. So it means that I have to have intermediate level skills, React, Node.js, Firebase, Redux, and the likes for me to be able to work on the particular project. Right. So if I have all of these skills, I can join and say apply to join, and then Patrick accepts me in, and I begin to work on the budget wise project itself. Right. So um, now you can also find tech leads, right? So let's say you're looking for a particular tech lead, you can come here and then find the particular tech leads that we have. So we have different tech leads for different pathways. We have multiple tech leads, so we have multiple software engineers because there are going to be multiple projects for you to work on. So not just one at a time. So you can work on as many as you can and then boost your employability score till you get to 800. When you get to 800, you can now begin to apply for jobs and say, hey, I did this stuff. These are the projects I've worked on. And then the beauty of this is you're able to work on real life projects, not just um, projects that cannot be used, right? These are projects that will be used by people. So pretty much that's like what overview of what Xterns is about. If you want to get started, all you need to do is to go to xterns.ai and sign up if you currently do not have an account. And then when you sign up, when you sign up, you take the assessment, you pass the assessment, and then you get access to the dashboard and then the community channel where we can all communicate and get more information about um, about the projects you would like to work on. So that's that about that. I don't know if any other person has questions or wants to ask any questions, and I can just answer their questions. Questions. So how many people am I going to be seeing on the Xterns platform? How many people are going to sign up on the Xterns platform and get ready to work on BudgetWise? Can I see those hands? Okay. Are you guys shy? Anyways, I'll be excited to see you guys join the projects. And yeah, that's all from my end. I do. Okay, yeah, I've seen one, and thank you very much. I'll be seeing you in the community channel. Patrick, I don't know if you want to say anything else.
No, I'm okay. I just want to say thank you and hoping to see everyone there. So some Ibong said, please drop the links. I don't know what links.
Okay, what links are you talking about? Are you talking about Xterns link? If it's Xterns, I'm just going to drop it for you now, so you can check out Xterns and log in. Okay. Somebody said I didn't hear about how data will be. Um, sorry, I didn't hear about how our data will be secured. I had network problems. Do you want to take that again, Patrick?
Yeah. So all data between users and our servers is encrypted using HTTPS, and there'll be no storing of the card or the PIN data. Another thing is all the password that a user uses to log in will be hashed. So I cannot see your password. I cannot log in using your account.
So I hope that answers that, Salim. Right, yeah, and I've seen your hands now. So I'll be seeing you guys on this project as we progress, right? So any other questions? Let's just give maybe 1 or 2 more minutes for questions before we end
Yeah.
the live stream. Ask your questions now, or maybe forever, or be quiet. Okay,
Welcome.
thank you, Salim. Thank you for joining. I'll be expecting to see you on this project in the coming weeks. Okay, so in the absence of no questions, I'm going to say thank you, Patrick, for making yourself available to being here. I think your project is an interesting one, and um, I'm excited to see how it's going to come out. All right, so thank you very much. If you have questions, you can rewatch the video or as well reach out to us via mail at I'm also going to drop this mail here now, support@diarymail.com, so that if you have questions, you can ask and then somebody from my team will respond to you. Okay, so I'm just going to say bye everyone now and see you in the next one. Thank you very much, Patrick.
Thank you, Daniel. Nice.